Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Amanda. You'll hear me talk a lot more later. I'm one of the librarians that's here today. For now, I'm just going to say if you are here for a library workshop, you're in the right electronic room, and we're just going to give it till about 2:02. We're going to give it maybe a minute or so more. So thank you for joining us on a Saturday, and we're going to wait just a minute or two more to let folks come in. Again, hi, my name is Amanda. If you're here to talk about the library at UMass Lowell, you're in the right place. Just going to give it 1 or 2 more minutes to let people finish up their lunch, their tea, their coffee, whatever it is they're doing. So thank you for joining us. I say this every time. Next time we should have some music while we wait.
I don't know. Don't you hate when you call someone and they put you on hold and you listen to music that you do not like? So we would have to really have something cool.
That's true. We'd be forcing music on people. So again, thanks everyone. I'll give it just 1 more minute before we get started. All right, I think that's good. I don't see anyone else coming into the waiting room. Obviously, we'll let them in if they do. So I'll sort of more formally call us to order. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on a Saturday. My name is Amanda Rust. I'm one of the librarians that's here on this call at the UMass Lowell University Library. And I will turn it over to my colleagues to introduce themselves and say hi quickly, just so you know who's here. I'll call us to order, and then I will be trying to monitor questions and do work in the chat. And I'll turn it over first to my colleague, Mary Kay, who you'll hear a lot more from later, but I'll let her introduce herself first.
Hi, I'm Mary Kay Martinuke. I'm one of the reference librarians, and I'll be doing the searches and most of the activities that we are going to be doing today. And I'm glad you're all here. This is our last Zoom meeting this semester, and we're all glad to see that you showed up today.
Absolutely. And then Sarah, do you want to say a quick hello?
Welcome, everyone. I am Sarah Marks. I'm the library's Assistant Director for Communications and User Experience, and we are simultaneously live streaming this on YouTube, where it will be available after the fact. And we will put that link on the library webpage for you to find it so that you can come back and rewatch this anytime you want or leave questions there. So at the end, I will come in with questions if there were any from YouTube.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Sarah. I think I had said I wasn't going to put Sarah on the spot, and then I did. So thank you, Sarah. Sarah's juggling the YouTube. So it looks like we have, I think, 5-ish people here with us today, which is great. So the first thing, before we even get started, we'd actually like to know a little bit about you so that we have a sense of who's here and what you're interested in. We advertise these in a certain way, but we are happy to have anyone that's here. So I wonder if I could start off with asking the folks that are here to go ahead and open up your chat in Zoom. I'm talking slowly to give everyone a chance to do that. And we would love it if you could just tell us what program you're in, whether you're an undergrad or grad student. And if you have a specific research interest, go ahead and throw that in as well. So if you could go into the chat and just say a quick hello. You don't have to unmute or turn on your camera, but just let us know in the chat your program and any research interests, because that'll help give us a sense of what to focus on. If you all happen to be from one program, probably you're not, but if you do, we would be able to focus on that. So if you can go ahead and do that. And let me make sure. I think I don't see anything in the chat yet. That's fine. Maybe you're still typing. Let me just make sure that we have it set up. We should have it set up so that people can participate there. And I'm just putting a message into the chat to go ahead and hang there. Wonderful, thank you. We have our first response. So nursing, which is excellent. Some of the most challenging research as you go on in a good way, hopefully challenging in a fun way. So we know we have someone here from nursing. So we'll make sure that we touch on a LibGuide or some options there. So thanks very much. Biomed engineering, fascinating. That's great. Interested in medical devices. So far, we've got some undergrads with us. Undergrad mechanical engineering. Thank you so much for replying. And it sounds so far like folks are, we've got 2 interested in general resources at the library and maybe 1 specific interest in medical devices. So far we've got representation from our, health and engineering sciences. Anyone else? Anyone else want to represent a different discipline? I'll give it 1 more minute. That's great. That does really help us have some ideas about what to talk about. Okay. So I will pretty soon mute myself, and I will be pretty active in the chat. You know, people like multiple channels to learn. So one of the ways that we've run these sessions is that I'm in the chat. Ask any questions that you have in the chat while Mary Kay is walking us through some research options and tasks. And periodically I'll be trying to sort of update everyone and remind everyone and send any relevant links to folks in the chat as well. So if you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat, or it's a lovely small group. Go ahead and unmute and ask questions. And without any further ado, I will turn it over to Mary Kay, who will do the share your screen dance, the familiar dance that we all know from Zoom.
Actually, I think I'd like to start with our poll.
Oh, sorry about that. Thank you.
You want to do that?
Yes. So I will go ahead and launch this. So again, this similarly gives us a little bit more info about where people are. So you should see a poll up in front of you. Let me know in the chat if you don't. And again, thank you. This really helps us a lot with figuring out what is going to be most useful to everyone. If you're just joining us, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to remind people there are the 6 questions, so don't forget to scroll down and answer all of them if you can. They're simple, and it's just to give us information what you might need.
And I'm going to put in the chat, if you're just joining us, we had, I think, at least 1 or 2 folks just come in. If you could go ahead and fill out the poll, and also when you have a chance, let us know in the chat about your program or major and any research interests. Again, this really helps us figure out where to focus with folks. And this is great. I think we have all of our relevant answers here. And I'll go ahead and share the results. Mary Kay, you should be able to see these too. So most folks have not attended a library information class before. Again, really helpful for us to know. It's about half and half on whether people feel comfortable finding search terms, maybe a little more yes than no. Most people have not used a citation manager like EndNote or Zotero. Some people use the website and databases. Some people use an AI like ChatGPT, and no one has used the interlibrary loan service. So we'll make sure to mention that as well.
Great. Thank you so much for responding to this. It gives us more information to direct our time into something that might be interesting to you.
All right. So again, I'll be active in the chat, ask questions there, or unmute and ask questions. And I think now, Mary Kay, we're ready, right? Or have I forgotten anything else?
Yep. No.
Okay. I have not forgotten anything else.
Okay. Thanks, Amanda, and thanks, Sarah, for manning that chat, that important chat. Okay. People mentioned that most of you have not come to another one of our classes, and I will mention some resources that may be helpful to you. But the first thing I'd like to suggest that you do is that when you are doing your research, start from the library website. We have databases where you will find academic journals, peer-reviewed journals that are going to be the type of resources that you are going to want to have for your papers. Not saying you're not going to use anything else. Of course, we're going to look at the rest of the world. There may be government reports and other things that may be helpful to you. But if you want journal articles, the databases that we have are by subscription. We have paid for them, and you have helped pay for them. So you want to use them. You don't want to Google something that you might not be able to get the full text, and you want us to be able to provide you with resources that will further your education, or resources that your professors are going to require. So start at the library website. And for people who haven't been to one of our other classes, I'm going to suggest a research guide that is a list of sources that librarians have put together for either a subject. So there are ones on biomedical engineering, and there are ones on different parts of your research. So this is there's a guide called Beginning Your Research, and it's not coming off because I put an extra N in there. Let's try that. So Beginning Your Research. And this guide has an overview of different links on the library homepage. It has help in developing a topic, some tips that you might want to use, how to find information if you haven't done background reading, how to get to a subject encyclopedia, look at that. You can try the mind mapping tool, which is part of one of our guides here, and you'd be able to go to create a reference that has a tool in there. Research tools is basically just going on a list of various types of databases that you might be using, evaluating your sources. So if you are going to be using things online, you want to make sure that you are going to an accurate resource, and there are tips here. How not to plagiarize, you're going to be asked to do that. Citations, and why you want to cite your work. When you do good work, you want credit for it. You don't want someone else taking credit for it. you want to be honest about your research. That'll show people that you are a scholar and want to be honest and trusted. And here's some information about a citation. The general information is the same on most of the citation manuals, whether it's APA or MLA or Chicago, but it's in different, slightly different formatting, slightly different punctuation, and you'll probably use one for your particular major or the subject that you are studying at for that particular class. But always, if you have a question, ask your professor. So you always can come to us at the library website where it says questions, ask us, or ask a librarian, or lib answers, and we will get back to you. But here's a guide that might answer some of those basic questions. So we're just going to go back. Library website. Some of the questions that people answered, most people seem to not have a problem finding terminology and finding a particular topic, but there are ways that you can go in, things that you can go to. You can go to something called CQ Researcher, which is one of our databases also that will help you learn a little bit more about timely topics. And if you go to our database list, it's an A to Z list. And see, I'm just going to go to just show you where it is on the site. And then we're going to be moving on. And doesn't seem to want to go other. There we go. CQ Researcher. Just let you know what it looks like. So you can put in a term. You can see little reports. It has, lots of information, and it is hyperlinked. So if it cites some resource, you'll be able to go there and read that resource yourself. So that I just want to show to you. I don't know if everyone is looking to find this today, but it may be helpful to you at some point. So we're just going to go back to our library homepage. And some people have mentioned that they use ChatGPT. And AI is part of our lives already. We all use it in some format. If you call any place and don't get a live person, you are dealing with AI. If you're going to be using it to do research, there are some caveats that we would like to suggest to you. Let's see which one it is. I am trying to find an article from the New York Times that I had saved for you. It is no, that's about citations. Sorry, folks. Well, just letting you know, ChatGPT does have a reputation of sometimes writing a very good language paper, but in doing their research, sometimes they will make up research. And there are several people who have, to their chagrin, have found that that is a problem, including a person named Stephen Schwartz, who took it to court, let it do all of his background research, and did not check whether they were true or not, and found out that it had made up case history. And he was in court, and his law office got cited. They had to pay fines. He was humiliated. He had to leave the case. That not necessarily is going to happen to you, but what I want to mention is that ChatGPT is a tool. Don't think of it as your partner who's going to be handling the research end for you. It is your partner. Only in you can use that tool. But if you give up looking at and doing, as the lawyer should have done, due diligence, which means you're supposed to be looking at those resources, making sure that they are correct. We have had people come to us saying, we've used ChatGPT and we can't find these citations. The reason they can't find them, they were not real. We went to that journal, we went to that page, that doesn't work. So I will try to pull up that link for you so that we can, no, it's not coming. All right.
Mary Kay, I think I was able to find it, so I put it into the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank you very much, Amanda. Beforehand, I had everything in my toolbar, and all of a sudden I'm missing some things. So thank you for doing that. So I just wanted to let you know that. And another thing that people mentioned that they had not used before was interlibrary loan. So if you are using the library and you find that you have not found the full text. In fact, I'm going to be doing a search and I'm going to tell you why you're not going to want that full text, is that the library has a service called interlibrary loan. And interlibrary loan is an agreement with other libraries to share their resources with us. So if you go in and do a search and you see one article that doesn't seem to have the full text in our system, you can, once you find out that we don't have it, you can request it through our interlibrary loan, and I will show you where you would find that. Okay, under services, library services, very last one listed. And this is a guide on interlibrary loan. It tells you what it is and if there are any rules about it. It also has a form that you would fill out for the very first time that you are going to use it. It's under register. Click here to register. And this is what it'll look like. The very first time you use it, you're going to fill out this form. You get a username and password. It gives you information about copyright. It'll ask you basic questions of, you know, your name and your address and your email and your ID number. The UMass number is your ID number. And it'll ask some questions about what department you're in. It asks about delivery, and that is for people who are requesting print books delivered to a library. But here's a wonderful thing for everybody who is using the library solely online, is that if you are looking for a journal article, and you've requested it through interlibrary loan, it will be sent to you as a PDF in your email. How long will that take? There are various times I have gotten them the next day. Right now, they're suggesting give us at least 2 days to get it, but it will show up as a PDF in your email. You'll click on that, it'll open up, and now you have that full text of the article. And this is going to increase the journals that are available to you. And please, please do not go online and pay for an article that we can get for you for free. So use the interlibrary loan when you come up to a situation where there is an article that you would like. The library doesn't own it in full text, and you can request it, and you will find that it really enables you to get to the articles that you want. Sometimes you read something, you see, you do a search, you'll find the citation to it. You'll be able to look at an abstract or a summary of it, but you won't see the full text. And that's the case where those are the times when you're going to use interlibrary loan. So let's just go back. And if there are questions about interlibrary loan, if there are questions about finding a topic or starting your research, Please let us know if questions about those research guides. As I said, there are subject guides. So people who are in nursing, there's one for nursing. There's one in biomedical engineering. There are ones on most of the subjects that we have classes majors in. So you can go to that site, LibGuides, and if you're on the library homepage, you'll see LibGuides, and just go there and search for your subject. So we're going to go back and do a. So now we're going to do a search, and we're going to, for people who haven't used the library before, our articles are all digital and they're available through our databases. So on the left side of the page, you'll see links for databases, and there are over 200 databases that we have. You'll also see this article quick search, which is a meta search of all of our EBSCO, which is a publisher who publishes a lot of our databases, and it also includes some others they have agreements with. And that will search many databases at the same time. You can search it by keyword, title, or author, and the same thing with most of our databases, and also do an advanced search. Unless I'm looking just for a title of something, I would do an advanced search. And here's why. You can use multiple fields. So if you wanted to have a title and an author, or a subject and a keyword, you can do them all at the same time. And there also are limiters, such as peer review or particular date, that you can put into your search strategy. So today I'm going to do a search on long COVID. And we'll take their terminology. And in the United States. And I would like to limit this to peer review, which is going to show up somewhere along here. Maybe, maybe not. No, it is on this page. Here is your link for peer review. If you want to search in a particular journal, if you want to search for a particular time period, you can add it here. And over on the left, you'll see limit your results to full text. Well, if you're going to use Interlibrary Loan, unless you need that article today, absolutely, I would suggest not putting that in your search strategy, because what will happen, it will look at all those search terms and it will give you results. But if we don't own it in full text, it won't show them. So you wouldn't be able to get them. You wouldn't know they existed. So at least know they exist, and don't put it into your beginning search strategy. So now I'm going to search, and here's our results. So if you notice there are many articles that have come up with this search. Let's face it, it's a very broad thing, long COVID in the United States. But if you look at some of the results, I think you'll find that there are different aspects that might be interesting to you, may help you limit what you're looking for. For example, okay, this is the first one here, is talking about racial inequalities. There's one on the economic impact of long COVID. So I assume that people missing work, needing other medical help. So the economic impact, which is not something I thought of, but now I'm thinking about it. Getting back to normal, how people feel psychologically having this, how it it impacts on their day-to-day life. And one thing that's interesting in this one is it's giving you, you know, is it for a particular patient? Is it for a particular age? And that's something that you may consider. You may say, oh, maybe I want to know about long COVID for young people, or long COVID for people over 65. Who maybe only for men, maybe only for women. So if you look through these results that you've gotten, you may get some ideas on how to focus your search, and you could add that to your strategy and update it. You can also look at the left side of the page. So academic journals, I think it's going to be pretty much the same, peer review in academic journals. And that will update it. And if you also go to subject, and you can when it shows the subject, each term it has there is how many terms in this search that we just did, how many articles in this search we just did are using these terms as a subject, which means more than a keyword. It doesn't just appear there, you know, frequently. It is what the whole article is about. So I usually do show more, so it shows all of those subject headings, and you can go in and you can refine your search by putting in what ones are of interest, the COVID-19, the SARS-CoV-2, okay, all of this, maybe the vaccines, maybe not. Maybe, you know, you notice that the mental health aspect of it. Just go through them and choose ones that are of interest, and then update your search. It may refocus it, and it really brought it down significantly by doing that. Another factor that you might want to look at once you've done one of these searches is this is in the format for this database. It's not in ALA, APA, Chicago, any of the other style sheets. So the very first thing you see is the title, then the authors. You're seeing the journal that it's appearing in, or the source, Disability and Health Journal, the volume, the number, the 16th volume 2 is the number, the date, the pages. It's a 10-page article. Here's the publisher, and also includes a DOI if people have not heard of that. It's digital object identifier, and it is for as a very unique number. So if you had that number and you search for that number, it would come up with that exact article. It also is telling you that this article here, the first one is in the APA PsycInfo database. It's showing that we do have a PDF of this article. And the second one, if you notice when you go down and you see HTML full text, PDF full text. If you have both of them, choose PDF, because the PDF will look like you picked up the journal and you will have all the graphics and pagination. HTML will give you all of the text, but it might just count down the pages rather than the pages in that particular article. So if you have a choice, choose PDF. If you don't have a choice, if it's only in HTML, put that in, but you won't be able to have the exact pages when you're citing it. If you notice on the right side, there is this little magnifying glass icon, and that is very helpful when you're doing your searches, because it'll give you a detailed record. And if you scroll through this, if it's available, you'll see the abstract. And that can be really helpful if you see a title that sounds really good and you're you're hoping it includes something particular that you are searching for. If you read the abstract, it'll give you more information. It'll summarize this article, and it would be help you decide, is that an article I want to read? If it is, go to this little icon. It's a little folder, and it's just, thank you. It's going to save it. So you can go down and you can search all of whatever ones that may be of interest to you, put them in a folder, and then when you are done doing that search, you can go back and see these folders, and you can look at it again and say, oh, after I went through it, I don't really need this first one, or I don't need the second one. You can select or deselect them all. You know, I want them all. And then you'll be able to also, on the right side, I'm not seeing that on my screen because I see all of you. So I'm minimizing you, no offense. So all your pictures are gone, but now you can see, you can print this list, you can email it, you can save it to your computer, you can export it to a bibliographic citation manager. For those of you who have used Zotero or EndNote, you can send it directly to that your particular account for that data manager. The university has a free account for EndNote. You can download it from the IT page, and we have a LibGuide on using EndNote, and it has a link to the IT page so that you can download it and get some tips and suggestions on how to use it. And there is also Zotero. We'll also have some of our people who have used it have really liked Zotero. That is a free site, a free app, so you can just go down and download it. And if you go to our LibGuides, you can put in Zotero and you will get a link, and that will help you go in and download Zotero and go back, get what you want there. So that is how to do a search, how to limit a search, how to find the articles. Oh, one thing I did not do, let's go back. Go back to our search, and if you click on the title of any of these articles, it also will give you all of these tools on the right side. You can send it to Google Drive, you can save it to your OneDrive, print it, email it. It also has a place where you can cite it, and it will have a list of how this is cited in different style sheets. So APA, Chicago, Harvard, MLA, and it will tell you what edition also that it's using. And the one thing that there's a little note here, and we always will tell you to do this. Remember that phrase, due diligence. If you are going to use this and just say, oh, there we go, that's how to cite it, just be familiar enough with your style sheet that you know if there's something that went awry. Sometimes it will just be something is written twice. Sometimes it is the pagination was left off, but you have the full text, so you saw there's what the page where the article starts, so you can correct it. Remember, use the tools. These aren't your partners. These are your tools. So we are now going back to the library homepage, and let's see if I get my polls and my.
And while you're doing that, Mary Kay, a quick time check. We're at 2:40.
Okay, so I have my guides, and I wanted to have my here. Okay. My files, and let's see if what we would like you to do is have an opportunity to do a search yourself. So go to the library homepage and select the article quick search in the advanced mode. Okay, I just did that. Here are the terms to put in for your search. Art therapy, and then filter it to peer review and see what your results are. If anyone needs any help getting there, let us know. Whenever I put in the URL, it automatically goes to this link. So if you could go to the library homepage and do a search yourself, just so you get a feel of how you can put in the terms, where all the buttons and filters are, and look at your search results. Once you get your, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Once you get your search results, if you could find one article and cite it in the citation format for your field, if you're uncertain what that is, you can cite it in APA.
And we'll give folks maybe a couple of minutes to do this.
Right.
And I think what we would like folks to do is ask any questions in the chat, or when you have completed this, so you're going to try a search for art therapy, limit your results to just peer-reviewed articles, then pick an article and use the cite button to create a citation. Once you've done that, either let us know in the chat, you can say done in the chat, or give us even that little thumbs up reaction in Zoom. And that'll let us know that folks are good. So we're gonna give you maybe a couple of minutes. Once you're doing this on your own, you'll have obviously a lot more time. And there are some directions in the chat as well.
Keep moving them, but sorry. Add another search, but you don't necessarily have to do that.
So go to the library's homepage, try a quick search for art therapy, filter it to peer review, and then find a single article and use the cite button. And once you've done that successfully, either let us know in the chat, you can just say done, or give us the little Zoom thumbs up. You should be able to do the reactions if people remember where that is. I think I just gave us all a thumbs up. And if you have questions, of course, please put them in the chat. I see at least one thumbs up, so that's great. So give us a quick either question or okay, you're done, because then that lets us know that we'll try the next one. Couple more thumbs up. Let me see like one or two more. Thanks, everyone. And I've done in the chat. Perfect. Perfect. I think that's everyone. All right, great. So Mary Kay, let's move on to the next one.
So I have another search for you. Go to that same search for art therapy, and from your result list, choose a different article and look at the information in it and find a way to add an additional search term to your search, and then update your search and see how did it change your results significantly? Did it give you a focus? So you know, before when I was doing the searches, I was noticing there were different subject headings. So you will see subject headings listed in that citation, whether it's in the title, the subject heading, go to the abstract. See if there's a place where you think that would help in my search, that would make it more focused or specific to something you're looking for.
That's great, thank you. And we'll give maybe a couple more minutes for this. And this addresses that initial question where some folks said that it was sometimes hard to come up with search results. Perfect, yes, thank you in the chat. So usually when you do this, the search results should decrease the more terms that you add. And article titles, article abstracts, article subjects in these databases are all great ways to find additional search terms. I think Mary Kay, you mentioned you were doing a search and then you said, oh, I hadn't thought about that before with COVID-19, the business effect, right?
Right.
Now I may be interested in that. And you add business or small businesses or, you know,
or particular, if you're looking at a study, like what are the participants? Are you going to look for something that is a particular age group or particular gender? Those types of things can help you focus, because some of these subjects are very broad, and when you make things very broad, it's hard to look at all the research in it. But the more focused it is, and the more you get a thesis that is very specific, it'll guide you toward what you want to do in your paper.
Yeah. And we have one response in the chat, which is great. So other folks, again, if this is working as you expect, if you feel like you're finding useful search terms, that you see the abstract, you see the subject terms, give us another thumbs up or done in the chat so that we know you're all good. And again, if you have any questions, let us know. I always think of it as a ladder, kind of, where sometimes I add a bunch of search terms and then I might narrow down too much. So then I take a few apart and go back up or down the ladder. So you always have to sort of play around with it a little bit. Excellent. We got 2 thumbs up so far. Something in the chat. Let me wait and make sure that we get some thumbs up or an okay in the chat from at least a couple more people.
And when I suggest that people do research, they think about it as not search find. It's not one particular thing, one correct thing, and that has everything you always wanted in it. It's a process that you are continually refining. As Amanda said, you might make it broader, you may make it more focused. You may also, we didn't talk about alerts, but there's a way that you can have the system redo that same search for you on a regular basis when new articles come into that database for those search terms, and it will email you an update. It'll say, oh, here's some additional things that you might want to consider. So for people who are, especially people who are doing like a capstone project, or somebody who is doing a graduate thesis or dissertation, alerts can be really helpful to you. So you've done some research and now you can always get those updates because you're going to be working on it over a period of time.
Yeah, that's great. All right, so I don't see any other questions in the chat. So I think everyone has finished this search. This was at least a chance for you to get into the article quick search. More thumbs up, excellent. So I think we're good.
So we hope that this has been helpful to you. We hope that you have learned something that is useful when you're doing your papers. You've at least made a contact with the library and librarians so that if you have a question, you can get back to us. And if you were hoping that we would cover a particular thing today, and we did not, we would like to know what you were interested in, and we can arrange for an online appointment. We can answer it in an email. So please get in contact with us. Please let us know when we're doing these classes. We are trying to reach a wide variety of people, but specifically you, what you need. We want to help you. So let us know.
And I just put in the chat, so this is your chance to ask questions in the chat. And I also just put into the chat a link to our, what we call Lib Answers homepage. And that has a link to, if we have a librarian, sometimes we have live chat on that page if someone's doing that, or it has an email for us. It also has a way to search through all the kinds of LibGuides and prior work that we've done that Mary Kay pointed out. So that is that link in the chat. And like Mary Kay said, if there was something else, any other questions that you have now, it's not your only chance. You can email us. We are happy to have you email us later or contact us. But we'd love to know while you're here if there are any other questions that you have specific to your areas. We had a couple different areas, and I think the LibGuides that Mary Kay pointed out is probably one of the best places to start. So if you have specific questions for nursing, take a look at that LibGuide. It'll point out some of the specialized databases and sources. Same with biomedical. So any questions?
And today we just used the article quick search, but as I mentioned, we have over 200 databases. Some are included in that article quick search, but some are not. And so if you go to our A to Z list for databases, you can put in the subject that you are studying, and it will give you databases in that field, and you could check those out. And sometimes when you're doing a search, you might want to try a different database, see what it looks like, see if it offers another feature or tool.
We're going to do that awkward thing that you do in a class and wait until someone asks a question.
Yeah, here's an interesting one we used to ask when we went into classes. Is there something that you did learn today that you were happy to find out about? And if you're shy and you just want to use that, that's fine. But if you just let us know, that's helpful too.
All right, well, the most important thing, while you're thinking of maybe one thing that you would want to share with your classmates, or the new thing you learned today, like Mary Kay, you can put that in the chat. And the other most important thing is that you can get a hold of us later. We never think that one of these sessions is going to answer all your questions. So really what we want you to know is that we're here to work with you. We know some stuff, you know some stuff too. We'll put it together, it'll be great. And that uml.libanswers.com link there has info about how to find our email and all of that. And now you know that there are real live human librarians on the other end of that email. So sometimes me, sometimes Mary Kay, every once in a while Sarah. There's real people there, and we are happy to talk to you.
And if today you learned some things, but you don't have a paper or a project you're working on now, but in the next couple of weeks you do, and all of a sudden you say, there was something they covered that other day, but what's more information about that? Just get back in touch with us. Go to the library website. There's a little box there you can click on and send us an email. Request an appointment with us if you feel like you would need to do that. And we are reference librarians. We love questions, and we love helping you succeed in your academic career.
All right, that's great. Well, Mary Kay and Sarah and I will be here for the next 5 minutes. Happy to answer any other questions, but if you don't have any others, I'm not gonna keep you here for 5 minutes extra on a Saturday. So go enjoy your Saturday. Thank you so much for joining us. We're glad to see you all. And again, we'll be here for the next 5 minutes if there's any other questions. But if not, there's a bunch of links in the chat. Like Sarah said, there'll be a video from this presentation posted on the library website at some point in time pretty soon. So